It was pain in the bladder area with sharp pain, and it went on for a couple of weeks, but I'm such an athletic, strong person that I just ignored it. And then I noticed that my stomach started bloating, mostly after I ate, and that was unusual for me, and this took place during 2 months. I also was gaining weight in the past few months prior to this, and I cannot understand why, because I was running up until that time, and a lot of fatigue. So I just associated all of that with stress. So I went to the doctors, ended up in the emergency room for 10 hours, and they had told me all I had was just an ovarian cyst and uterine fibroids, very small little things, just go to your doctor. And I did the next day, and he said come back in about 3 months, and we'll check you, everything should be fine. This was the end of March. By May, I was in the hospital, May 28th. I had an OB/GYN oncologist admit me, and by that, within a week that I was in that hospital, they did a full hysterectomy, and they diagnosed me with stage 3C ovarian cancer. When I had left the doctor's office a week prior to going into the hospital, I had a CA-125 blood test done at the doctor's office. I Googled my symptoms, it came up ovarian cancer. I was totally shocked because I had never thought of cancer ever, never even come across my mind, anyone I knew. So when I Googled my symptoms and I put in, it came up CA-125 blood test, I called the doctor and I said, hey, can you just run this blood test for me and just double check and just rule out anything that was still working? And they called me 3 days later and said you need to get to an OB/GYN oncologist right away because your levels are 2,400 and normally it's 0 to 34. So that's when I went to an OB/GYN oncologist, and a week later I was in the hospital, and that's when they did the hysterectomy. So this was in June of 2010. So I have been dealing with this cancer for 4 years. Stage 3C is high, stage 4 is the highest. That's when it spreads to your liver and your lungs. Stage 3C is when it's just all throughout the abdominal area. I went in chemo in July of 2010, and in January I went into remission. This was all down in South Florida where I had lived for 35 years. January I went into remission, meaning that the cancer cells of the tumors had shrunk. They no longer needed to keep me on chemo. I had lost obviously all my hair, it's all the symptoms you hear. You get acidic vomiting, you lose your hair, lose weight, and all of that stuff had happened. And then in January through June of 2011, I was in remission, doing great, felt great, went back to work. And exactly to the date that I had diagnosed the cancer, the tumors had come back again. So this has been my path ever since 2011. The cancer keeps coming back every June. I go into remission to January. They take me off the chemo. Come June again, I go into remission again. I moved up here 2 years ago to live with my daughter because I had lost, when I was diagnosed with this cancer and I came home from the hospital, I had lost my home, my job, my health, money, my car, you name it, because you just can't work. And I was pretty much on my own. So about a year and a half of living down in Florida, I could not make it on my own any longer. So I just had Amy living with me. So I called up my daughter who was living up here in Fort Mitchell. Her husband's military. So I moved in with them, and that's what brought us up here. I'm going to make this real quick. We moved up here October 2011. I transferred all my records to East Alabama Medical Center, where I got treatments there. Everything seemed okay. We were positive about it. And in 2012, the cancer came back again in the summer. And this time, the doctors were, there's nothing we can do for you. You are now stage 4. When it gets to the point where the cancer keeps coming back, and we've given you so much chemo, they just put you in a category where they say there's no hope. And I'm sorry, I am not one of those people that you just don't tell me there's no hope. You just don't say no because I am a fighter. That's my personality, and I won't give up. So when East Alabama had told me that, they're a great hospital, but I refused to believe the doctor was saying. I knew there had to be something else out there. So I went to UAB in January of 2013, a year ago, and they said, you're in remission, you're doing fine. Why are you at stage 4? So the whole January through June, I was doing well again, and of course the cancer came back last summer. So back at UAB, going through treatments again. This time they put me on chemo I've never been on before. It racked my body pretty much. It really tore me up. I lost 10 pounds a month. Actually, I've lost 50 pounds already since September of last year. Could not eat, and they kept me on this chemo for 3 months. It was not effective. Now the tumors were growing even though I was on the chemo, whereas before the tumors were shrinking. So again, UAB was saying there's no hope. And I don't care, it's just, there's got to be something. And so I was in the process of getting a second opinion over here at John Amos, just November. And so happens I was so sick, September, October, November from the chemo and from the tumors growing. What had happened was, when you have ovarian cancer, the tumors get so large, they ended up, the only way I can explain it, it's like an octopus with the tentacles. They wrap around the intestines and the colon, and they make it so tight that you actually, they say that you have a blocked colon. So they're treating me right now as if I have ileitis, blocked colon, I can only eat certain foods. There was a time in November into December for a whole month I did not eat nothing at all, and that's when I was in and out of the hospital, because you can't hold anything in when you have a blocked colon. Everything just comes up. I am right now what the doctors call a miracle. I'm being treated over at John Amos. Thank God I was able to come here now and get treatments here. I'm with a OBGYN oncologist who has just moved here 2 years ago. Prior to him, there was not an OBGYN oncologist, so I feel very blessed to have him. He was willing to treat me, even though, you know, they're putting me in the final stages. So that's where I am right now. That's what I have been going through. This is very common, very typical for ovarian cancer. Most women don't survive. It's 1 out of 3 that survive ovarian cancer, and it's not a well-known type of cancer like breast cancer, for instance. Over 250-something thousand women that are diagnosed every year. Ovarian cancer is like 26,000. And there is not much awareness out there. I'm sorry to say I just don't like pink. Teal is my color. I honor teal, and there's too much pink everywhere I go. But I do want to just say I'm fighting, and I really do pray that those who have cancer of any type, it is a battle. And you lay there sick as a dog. You're physically exhausted. You're sick. You can't move. You can't do anything. But you've got to fight. You've got your mentality, you've got your spirit, you've got your emotions, and you have to put them all together, and you have to fight it. Because nothing else. If you don't have this going, if you don't have your faith going, your body overcomes, and you do want to give up. As strong as a person may be, you do want to give up. And you know, I wanted to find out how many people here do not know anyone with cancer, who do not have a loved one, family member, friend. Is there anyone out here that doesn't know anyone with cancer? So everybody, and that's just about what I thought. So I just want to let you know, we continue to fight. We have to stay strong. It's a very tough battle. And I don't know how many weeks, months, years, whatever I have left, but I don't focus on that. I focus on just getting through each day, and praise God I'm able to eat. And I thank God for my daughter, Amy. She truly is a wonderful daughter. She has been through it all with me. And it's a lot for a child to go through. And I want to thank Glenwood for doing this and raising the awareness and the money to help fight cancer, help find a cure. And I surely do hope one day they do. And I really believe what we are going through today is going to be obsolete. I really feel in years to come, it's going to be a whole different way of treating patients with cancer. I know I need to close, and I just want to end it with this real quick. It says, a cheerful heart is good medicine. You have every reason to be cheerful, because I have overcome the world. I have conquered it and deprived it of power to harm. I have overcome it and deprived it of power to harm you through my victory on the cross. Moreover, nothing you will ever encounter along your life path will be able to separate you from my love. As you ponder these glorious truths about all I have done for you, let good cheer fill your heart and radiate from your face. A joyful heart will improve your health, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So fill your mind with thankful thoughts till your heart overflows with joy. Take time to praise me for all that I am, the one from whom all blessings flow. Let me fill you with my life and my light, for I designed you to be full of heavenly contents. As these divine nutrients soak into the depths of your being, they strengthen you and enhance your health. Be of good cheer. So it's all about spirituality, mentality, and emotional to overcome this battle. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now sing a song that she wrote for her mother, our own Christina Scarlata.
The sun coffee in the early morning, encouraging words I hear from you as I'm listening. The sun shining down on your wavy golden hair, as you sit there in your white wicker chair. You're always giving me the best advice. You're always there when I need you, right by my side. 'Cause you never give up on me when I'm sad. 'Cause you make me happy all the time. You tell me right from wrong. You always make sure I'm healthy and strong. I hope you know I appreciate you and all the little things you do. I'm glad I have a mother like you. Long talks we had on the call and read the movies. You were dropping me off with my friends when I was 14. Told me to stay true to myself and not let anybody else tell me any different. You always try to understand me. You always let me know that you are caring. 'Cause you never give up on me when I'm sad. 'Cause you make me happy all the time. You tell me right from wrong. You always make sure I'm healthy and strong. I hope you know I appreciate you and all the good things you do. I'll always be your little girl. I'll always be in your world. 'Cause you never give up on me when I'm sad. 'Cause you make me happy all the time. You tell me right from wrong. You always make sure I'm healthy and strong. I hope you know I appreciate you and all the little things you do. I'm glad I have a mother like you. I'm glad I have a mother like you. I'm glad I have you.
Thank you to the Scarlata family. Amy will be opening up at our concert for Doug Stone in February. So if you want to get a Doug Stone ticket, it's $15. She'll be opening for Doug Stone. We'll be performing right here at Glenwood. Thank you to Coosa Valley for being a part of this tonight. Thank you for your patience.